Welcome in this live edition of Seahawks Today by Chad Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for hanging out here with us. A little delayed start as we had a lot of news going on today. A busy Wednesday for your Seattle Seahawks, but we are live to break it all down as Abraham Lucas, who was announced at this hour, is going to IR. He'll miss the next 4 games beginning this week with the Detroit Lions. We'll catch up to speed on that. Also, we're going to talk about possible trade rumors for Chase Young, bringing him to Seattle. We'll do a Q&A mailbag coming up later. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag, and we'll preview this weekend's game against the Detroit Lions as well. All that and more coming up here on this live happy hour edition of Seahawks Today. As you guys file in, shout out your city, and we'll shout you out and show you some love as we begin today's show. Let us know where you are at. Smitty is off today, but a Big Tex is hanging out with me. We'll bring him in just a moment as we're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios in beautiful downtown Dallas, Texas here on this Wednesday. Checking in the chat, who is here with us? I'm seeing Adam, Stafford, Ethan, Lamezor, Wesley, Adam, Beta YT. Who else is in the house? Let us know where you're at and where you're watching from as we begin today's show. I got Adam in Corpus Christi, Texas. Good to hear from you, Adam. Where else you guys at? Chime in, tell us, and let us know in the comment section as we get started here on this Wednesday afternoon. I see Ethan says, Seahawks. I got James in Yuma, Arizona. Evan Turner, is that the Evan Turner? Says, yeah, Bayham. Where else? We got Ryan B. in Louisville, Kentucky. Virginia Seahawks says guess. Going to guess Virginia. Beta YT in Clemson, South Carolina. Got Stafford, Gila in St. George. Got Robert Camp in Bend, Oregon. Ethan says, Tyler, you're cool. No, Ethan, you're cool. Stafford's checking in from work. King is in Josh Tree, California. I got Kung Fi in Tennessee. Virgil, I'm at your mom's house. Your mom loves me. I'd love to really just enjoy time with her. I got Michael in Munich, Germany. We got Mike in South Lake Tahoe, California. Let's see. I got Benjamin in North Richland Hills. I got Wesley in Broussard, Louisiana. Andrew says, first time on any channel ever. Glad to be a Hawk. Thanks for being here, Andrew. Welcome to the very first time. Checking in from St. Louis, Missouri. Let's see. Virginia Seahawk says, good to see y'all. It's been a while. Where you been, Virginia Seahawk? Welcome back. I got Ethan in Clinton, Utah. I got Scott's Hawk in Scotland. Ryan says 12s everywhere. Steve John in Choctaw North. Also got Ilona in Seattle. And I got Russell, 1976 in Florida. Got David D in Anchorage, Alaska. A lot of people from all over the place here today. Predict the score. How will the Seahawks fare against the Detroit Lions this weekend? What's the final score going to be? I'll give you my score prediction coming up later on in the show, but want to hear from you guys first as we get this show started. Let us know what you think the final score will be. We'll shout you out and show you some love as we get this show started here on this Wednesday. Let us know what you think the game will play out. Elijah says, hello, I'm here. Welcome, Elijah. Hawks family, our tackle positions do not look good. That would be accurate. Seahawks likely without both starting tackles for Sunday against Detroit. Let's see. Cash says, yo, go Hawks. What's up, Tyler? Good to see you. Ethan says, I hope we win. Big Tex is going to join me here in just a second. You'll hear from him. King says Seahawks win 21-17. Hawks family says 29-17 Lions win. Tyson says 28-14 Seattle. Peter says 27-14 Lions. Benjamin says 24-21 Hawks. Andrew says 31-28 win. Ryan says 24-14 Lions, sadly, for the final score there. So those are some of the score predictions here on the channel. I got Virgil says, hopefully Seahawks 23-17, probably more like Detroit 37-21. Michael says 28-24. Ilona says 35-25 is the predictions there. So some of the predictions already checking in. Without further ado, we need what? Yeah, that's what I'm tossing to. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hear from our new sponsor here on Seahawks Today, Game Time. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time, our newest partner here on Seahawks Today, the place to go for sporting events, comedy shows, concerts, and more. And Game Time, not only is it easy to use, but you are going to get the lowest price guaranteed. Here's the deal with Game Time. I was at a baseball game a few weeks ago and was with some friends. We decided at the very last minute that we wanted to go. And so we hopped on Game Time, and we were able to get our tickets instantaneously, just in a matter of moments. And I'm so grateful that Game Time made it so easy to use. Prices are listed. You find your seat, you zoom in, you get the view of what it's going to be, and then bam, you go to the checkout section and you get your tickets to that baseball game that you were wanting to go to. Here's what we're offering here on Seahawks Today. You can get tickets, just like me, with the promo code Seahawks Chat and get $20 off. So go ahead and download Game Time, create an account, and get your tickets now, including the Seahawks football. Game Time, the place to be. Terms and conditions do apply. $20 off with the promo code Seahawks Chat. Download Game Time today. All right. There you have it from Game Time, our new partner here at Chat Sports. And we have our first Super Chat already. We haven't even got to the Super Chat menu yet. James Mack wants to get the party started, saying 45-36 Seahawks, apocalypse rising. I love it, James Mack. Cannot wait to see what the Seahawks bring to the table. And hopefully we get a Seahawks win this weekend and the Hawkpocalypse in full force. There when the Seahawks get it done. Let's go Hawks. Let's see a Seahawks victory as far as I'm concerned. Who is the Seahawks' best player right now? Chime in and tell us who you think in the comment section. Big Tex, are you ready now to join us after he has had a busy 30 minutes? I can tell you that much. Big Tex now here. Tex.
Yo. What's up, Seahawks Nation?
In for a Smitty today.
I am.
Smitty had a prior arrangement, but nonetheless, you're holding things down today. Best player for the Seahawks right now, what would be your answer?
Either Devon Witherspoon or JSN.
You're going with the rookies?
Yeah.
I'd go Bobby Wagner.
Okay.
Yeah, what was it, 19 tackles last week? I think Bobby is your answer.
That's insane.
Robert says Bobby. Michael says B-Wags. Wesley and Mike say DK Metcalf. Mike also says Kenneth Walker. Adam says B-Wags easy. Ethan says Reek Woolen. Peter says Kenneth Walker. Okay, so some pretty good answers on who the Seahawks' best player is at this point in time. Let's go ahead and spam 12. Let's skip to that. Yeah. Let's see. What else we got in the chat? Big text, small box. Yeah. That's funny. Ethan says Reek. Robert says best player Levi Bell. Mike says defense, Bobby Wagner. Ilona says Tyler, let's go beat the Lions. I agree. Best player, Peter Pan, excuses. Virgil says Brooks is solid right now. All good choices there. All right, so here's what I want to do. I got 85 people right now, but I want to get the chat popping, get things rolling. I know that it sucks that Abraham Lucas is going to IR, but I want some good vibes going. I want to warm up for Sunday and get the 12s fired up right now. So I want you to spam 12 in the chat. For this next minute, I want to see as many 12s as we possibly can. I'm going to put a minute on the clock, and we're going to shout everybody out that's spamming 12. And Let's get this thing fired up. Let's have a good time today. Let's get the good vibes going. Let's get fired up. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spam 12. Here we go. And they're off. Spamming 12 in the chat. And I'll give the shout-outs starting right now. Here we go. I got Stafford, Mike, Virginia Seahawk, Nico, Robert, Beta YT, Robert, Adam, Ethan, Virginia Seahawk, Ilona, Robert, Steve, Ethan, Virginia Seahawk, Smitty on sports. Smitty in the house. Welcome, Smitty. Smitty said he'd check in the chat. Here he is. He's here. Stafford, Robert, Adam, Matthew, Robert, Virginia Seahawk, Stafford, David, Peter. Can't even keep up. Chat is rolling. Keep it going. Keep it going. I got Mike, Ethan, Virginia Seahawk, Peter, Elijah, come forth. Michael, Robert, Mike, Adam, Peter, Virginia Seahawk, Craze, Robert, Adam, Peter, Michael, David, Sledgeneck, Adam, Robert, David, Stafford, Mike, Cash, Robert, James, Michael, Elijah, Mike, Adam, Virginia, Norcog. Great job, everybody. Getting the chat popping. We're fired up. We're ready to go for Sunday. Seahawks football coming up from Detroit. Let's go Super Chat. Then we can go coming up in just a second. If you want to be involved in the show and get some screen time and send whatever message and contribute, you can do so by super chatting the show. $sign below the chat box if you would like to super chat and join us today. Any super chat equals a shout out. $5 we'll sing the DK song. And we love singing the DK song around here. If you've never heard the DK song, I highly encourage you need to hear the DK song. Every $10 super chat, we'll have a Geno shot. I have some Fireball in hand. These were invented when Geno got his big contract, and I would love to drink some Geno shots today for $10. $20, we'll do a little beer chug. I got my Happy Dad in hand. I'll chug this for $20. And then for $50, Big Tex, we'll get out the beer shotgun. If you've never seen the beer shotgun before, here it is. And Big Tex will get that gun out, and he will chug some beer out of it, and you will be amazed. So that is what we have on the plate today. Feel free to jump in on that Super Chat menu. Let's party. Let's have a good time. I know it sucks about Abraham Lucas, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves here on the channel today. So Super Chat if you want to get involved and get this show started. If you're ready to get rolling, go ahead and like today's video. I'm at 30 likes right now. I got 87 people watching. I need 10 likes before we can officially begin today's show. So 10 more likes, and then we'll get things going here on the channel. Hit that like button, and let's have ourselves a good day today here on Seahawks Today. Here is what's coming up on the show. We are going to have the latest news and rumors on your Seattle Seahawks. We'll do a live Q&A mailbag. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to send in your questions that we'll get to coming up in just a bit. Also, we will have a preview of the Seahawks matchup against the Detroit Lions. So that is what is on tap here on Seahawks Today. Let's get this party started. Let's get fired up, get rolling. I'm 4 likes away from officially beginning today's show. So we'll see what the 12s can put together and get this thing started. Need one more like. We are doing a Super Chat battle today between us and Steelers Talk. Are they really at 0? Okay. So Steelers is live right now. And apparently, I don't believe this is true, but we will see. Corey wants to know how long Lucas is on IR. 4 weeks. We reached 40 likes, by the way. We're at $2 right now, which I would love to beat Steelers Talk and run up the score. I'm pretty sure they're at more than 0 right now. Tex didn't update the number yet, so blame Tex. But let's see what we can do to beat Steelers Talk because they're live right now as well over on their channel. We'll check in periodically throughout the day in this Super Chat battle between us and Steelers Talk. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and get started with our news and rumors segment that we will bring you coming up right now here on Seahawks Today. Tex, we all set? We good to go? Okay. Tex is going to get me set up, and then we will get this thing started as we will talk about Chase Young and the possibility of bringing him to the Seattle Seahawks in a trade. So we'll get that going as soon as Tex gives me the go-ahead. then we'll get this thing fired up and get ready to go here with Seahawks Today. We are live here on this Wednesday afternoon. Tyler Jones, Big Tex here with you talking Seahawks football as the Seahawks get ready for week number 2 against the Detroit Lions. Adam, I see your super chat. We'll get to that after this segment, Adam. I promise we'll get to that. We got to get the segment first, and then we'll answer your question that you sent in from that super chat. So, all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get rolling with our first segment, our news and rumors here on this Wednesday afternoon. Seahawks Today coming up in just a moment, but first, don't forget to join us for our Seahawks versus Lions watch party live here on Seahawks Today. We will get things started coming up around 9 a.m. It'll be early on the West Coast, but don't worry. We're going to have a hell of a time as we'll have a few drinks on hand. We'll break down the game in real time, and we'll root on your Seahawks together here on the channel. Seahawks, Lions, live here on Seahawks Today. You will not want to miss it. Come on in, stay a while, and join us for our second watch party of 2023. And we are battling our Lions channel all week long in a sub-battle. We've gained about 114 new subscribers on our channel. Lions Talk doing a little bit better, though. So, sub for dubs. Let's not just beat the Lions on the football field, but off the football field as well. And we'll get started with this edition of Seahawks Today. Coming up on Seahawks Today, should Seattle trade for Chase Young? I will tell you why they should. Plus, we have an update on Jamal Adams and his injury status, as well as some roster moves that the Seahawks have made over the last few days. We'll catch up on all of that and more coming up in a matter of moments. Let's start with Chase Young. Bleacher Report put a list together of their big board of the top trade candidates prior to the trade deadline around the NFL. And Chase Young was listed as the top trade candidate on their big board, on the trade block of anybody out there. We've talked a lot on this channel previously about the idea of bringing Young to Seattle, and now might be as good a chance as ever to bring him in. More from Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report. The Commanders declined his fifth-year option and may look to move on in the offseason. If Washington isn't sold on his long-term prospects, getting something in return before the trade deadline would make plenty of sense. Now is the perfect time for a team to buy low on Young. Look, I'm not going to just sit here and be content with the lack of pass rush. It was awful what we saw from the Seahawks this past weekend, of the lack thereof of trying to get after the quarterback. And I know people are going to point to the defensive tackle position. That's easy to talk about, that nose tackle spot. But really, you had nothing at defensive end. You had nothing at edge. I mean, it was just bad. And of all the guys out there right now that are the easiest to go get, Chase Young is the best option available. Now, why Chase Young? Let me break down my 5 reasons. Number 1, first and foremost, he's a generational talent. This guy was picked number 2 overall because guys like Chase Young don't just walk through the door every single day. He is built different. And what do I mean by built different? Elite size and length. 6'5", 264. If you were to make a pass rusher in a lab, he would look like Chase Young. I can tell you that much. Number 3, he's got the power to play through blockers. That certainly helps if you're trying to get through the quarterback, is to be able to go through guys. And he's got that ability to do just that. His knee, according to reports, is no longer an issue. That is all figured out as far as that injury that he had last season, and certainly had a lot of question marks about. Doesn't seem to be a problem for him going forward. And then number 5, he is constantly going after quarterbacks' arms. This is what Chase Young does well. Maybe he doesn't get the sack always, but he's constantly creating pressure and making things difficult on opposing quarterbacks. To me, that's why you can't miss on the opportunity to get Chase Young. So, I'll tell you more about Chase Young in a second, but first, should the Seahawks trade for Chase Young? Here's your chance to weigh in. Tell me what you think here on Seahawks Today. Our pinned comment. Y for yes, N for no. What do you think? Should they make a trade here or not? Chime in. Tell me what you think. Now, you look back at last week of Seattle's performance, and obviously there was a lot to take away, but one of those with that lack of pass rush, I think the statistics make this pretty obvious. Not only did the Seahawks not sack Matthew Stafford last week, but they only had 2 QB hits. And so when we look at Chase Young of that pocket awareness to wreak havoc, even when he's not getting the sacks, that will go a long way and be exactly what this Seahawks team is looking for. And think about this. There is still a great mystery about Chase Young due to the fact that we've only seen a small sample size. I would sit here and I would argue that the best is still yet to come with Chase Young because he's just been limited, because we've only seen just a little bit of him yet. So I would argue that his prime football, his best days are still well in front of him. The statistics of what Chase Young has done throughout his career. 7.5 sacks his rookie season. 2 sacks his second season. And then last year in 3 games, we didn't see a whole lot of him. Just 5 tackles, no sacks there. I got to tell you, I'm all in on Chase Young. Let's see the Seahawks make this happen and bring him in. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Seahawks125. You will get a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down, you get $125 to spend for free. You can bet on Seahawks football all season long, including this weekend against the Detroit Lions. Seahawks are underdogs, about a touchdown, as Detroit's favored by 7. Expecting to be a lot of points, over-under at 47. Get your bets in now on your Seattle Seahawks or other action around the National Football League at chatsports.com/bet, promo code Seahawks125 to get your bets in today. Young, the former number 2 overall pick out of Ohio State in 2020, made an immediate impact when he entered the NFL as a Pro Bowler, also was named the NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year. And when it comes to the contract situation with Chase Young, he's entering the final year of his rookie deal, owed about $5.32 million in base salary. So the Seahawks, they can take that on. That's not a problem right now. And I think when we talk about value as far as him being available at a discount for a former 2 pick, the generational talent we're talking about here, I think you can pull this off with a second-round pick, potentially. You could get this trade done. Don't have to give up a first. You might even be able to pull it off with a third-round pick, potentially. And the reason why you get the discount is because the Commanders in a position where they don't want to invest long-term and pay him, comparably speaking to the Seahawks that would. You're not likely going to find a better player than Chase Young with that second-round pick. The argument against is going to be, hey, you need to hang on to your trade assets. You need all the draft capital you can for young players. And I understand that argument. But I'm telling you right now, the chances are very slim that your second-round pick player is going to be better than what you would get with Chase Young. You already know what he is. You already know that he's a very good football player and with high potential. Market value for his next contract is around 4 years, $71.5 million. Personally, I wouldn't pay him right away. I would go ahead and double-check and see if you like the investment and then pay him after this season. To me, I think that can make sense. That can work. 4 years, 71.5, that's well within reason for the Seahawks to make flexible and work long-term. So let's begin a movement here on Seahawks Today. I want everybody in the comments section, because I know you agree with me. And if you don't agree with me on this one, you're a hater. I'm just kidding. Let's spam Young to Seattle in the comments. I want to start this movement. Let's make John Schneider and Pete Carroll listen to us. Let's make the 12s, let their voices be heard, and begin the movement right now and bring Chase Young to Seattle. I want you to spam Young to Seattle in the comments. Let's let it be known. Let's get this going and bring Chase Young to Seattle. John, Pete, get it done. Young to Seattle. Let's go. Injury update on Jamal Adams. Pete Carroll says that Adams will return to Seahawks practice this week in a limited capacity. He elaborated as such, saying the following: "Let's take it one day at a time. He's going to have a limited amount of plays as he gets back and re-enters, but he'll get individual work and start getting some of the basic stuff just to get him out there." A few things that you need to know when it comes to the Jamal Adams situation. He's returning from a torn quad injury. And the last couple of weeks, he's participated in walkthroughs. So he's been around. And remember, they didn't put him on the PUP list because the hope was that he would be back within 4 weeks. Now, just because he's going through this next limited portion, that doesn't mean he will be a full go versus Detroit. I would think that it's still unlikely that Jamal Adams plays this weekend against the Lions. And it's been a long time since we've seen Jamal Adams. In fact, it's been over a calendar year now since Jamal Adams last took the football field for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, you know, before the season began, the thing that I told you about Jamal Adams, and most people believed, that having Jamal Adams back was considered a luxury of sorts, that you already had Quandre Diggs, you brought in Julian Love, and the secondary, of course, they invested a lot in, and that group was supposed to be one of the best position groups in football. But then after last week, the debacle of just how awful it was against the Rams and how bad the secondary played, all of a sudden I think we reevaluate things and say, you know what? The Seahawks could really use Jamal Adams. It's not so much a luxury anymore. It's a need. They need to get him back in the football field. The grades, according to PFF, the top 8 coverage grades were not pretty for the Seahawks last week. Reek Wallen with a 64.6 grade, Devin Bush with a 61.9, Darrell Taylor with a 61.5, Artie Burns with a 60.4, and the list goes on and on. It was not pretty, according to the data, and then the scoreboard as well indicated as such the Seahawks really had problems letting Matthew Stafford pick them apart. What is your confidence level in the Seahawks secondary at this point in time? Scale it for me 1 through 10, and let me know how you feel about this group going forward. I'm optimistic. I hope that the worst was behind them. They left it behind last week. We'll see. Scale it for me in the comment section what your confidence level is. A lot of roster moves for the Seahawks the last couple of days. We told you about some of them on the show earlier this week, but want to catch up to speed on some of these that have happened so far to this point when it comes in particular to the practice squad. Holton Ahlers released from the practice squad. I think he's going to bounce around the practice squad for much of the year. Greg Elam is back on the practice squad for now, while Brian Breeze was released. He was picked up last week. Now he's off again. And then there's Jason Peters, who was picked up on the practice squad. I think there's a chance we could see him get elevated to the active roster potentially as early this week. We will see. How would you grade the Seahawks roster where things stand right now? A, B, C, D, or F? Let us know what you think in the comments section where the Seahawks stand right now heading in to week number 2. How you feel about this group, let me know. Subscribe to the channel for more Seahawks coverage each and every day here on Seahawks Today. We love talking about your Seattle Seahawks. Better days ahead, I can promise you that. And hopefully we see a Seahawks win this weekend. Don't miss out. We'll be live here on the channel for Seahawks and Lions here. Myself, Tyler Smith-Schmitty, will be here with you. Our coverage begins 9 a.m. Pacific time right here on Seahawks Today. You will not want to miss out on it. And we will see you next time here on Seahawks Today. All right. 1 down, 2 to go. We're going to do our mailbag segment in just a moment. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. We'll also do our game preview coming up in just a bit as well. I know we got some Super Chats to catch up on that came through that last segment, but there is a reminder of how you can get involved on our mailbag that we'll bring you here in just a bit. I know the chat was really flowing there, that last segment. Let's go ahead and catch up. I believe the first one we had come in from Adam, and Adam says, "Where's that damn panic button?" I get you. I mean, I'll say this. When it comes to Abe Lucas, for example, on IR, Adam, IR, the definition of IR has changed the last couple of years from what it used to be. It used to be if you were on IR, your season was over with. Now we have short-term IR, which means you're out 4 weeks. So I'll say at least that's the optimism. I know it sounds scary hearing the word IR, but Abraham Lucas should be back later on as far as that goes. And it was weird listening to Pete Carroll earlier this week. He described it. He said it's not an injury. It's pain. It's a problem he's been dealing with, but maybe it was worse than what Pete Carroll thought. $5 super chat comes in from Vank. Vank with the character there. That means we got to do the DK song. So we will bring Big Tex back in, and we'll sing the DK song together for the first time today. If you've never heard the DK song before, prepare to be amazed, my friends, because I got to tell you, Big Tex, the DK song just gets the people going.
Oh, yeah.
Gets you feeling a certain way. Chomping, carols, chomping, Geno passes, no one stopping. DK, touchdowns all day. He rolls! Oh, we love singing that song. Shout out to DK. He played decent last week. I'm hoping that he plays well this week. James Mack with a $2 super chat. What about Chase Young and Chandler Jones? Now, Chandler Jones is interesting. He's not too happy with the Raiders right now. But there is a concern, and I'm not making light of this. This is a serious thing. This is where I would be skeptical if I'm the Seahawks. There is concern in regards to his mental health, that he might be having a breakdown of some sort. So that's where I would yield caution of sorts for the Seahawks there to keep in mind. So, James, thanks for that comment there. Tex, we need a few more questions. Yeah, we need a few more questions. I see Peter, Beta YT. Let's see. We could use some more questions. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. And the Super Chat, you guys will get priority. You'll get your questions answered first in this mailbag segment we'll bring you. And game time on this? Yep. Okay, sweet. So we'll get to that, and then if we need to move it up based on timing, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Hold on. We'll just plan on it. Yeah. So let's go about 8 to 10 minutes on this mailbag, and then get that within the first 5. So. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, about 8 to 10 minutes on this mailbag. Yep. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. I'm seeing comments from Mansell and Wesley and Fleece. Guys, you got to use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on that mailbag. Yes. Not the character one, because that's not a question. Yeah. Anyone that had an actual comment, yes. Right. Yes. Sorry, guys. Dropped my pen there. James Mack, thanks for the super chat. We'll get that in the mailbag here in just a second. Matthew using the hashtag Seahawks. Good stuff, Matthew. We'll wait another minute, and then we'll get this mailbag started. Mark says, why are we talking about Chase Young? Draymond Jones was nowhere on Sunday. Mark, that's the point, is that Draymond Jones sucked on Sunday, and the Seahawks need more help. They need someone on the opposite side of Draymond Jones. Are we really? Is that what we're trying to figure out here? Like, connect the two. It's not that hard. Come on, Mark. We do better than that. Let's see. Camille, I got a question in. Thank you, Camille. Elona also getting a question in as well. Thank you for that. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat, and we'll get our questions going in our mailbag here in just a moment. Let's go back to that Super Chat menu, by the way. Our Super Chat menu, in case you would like us to have a few drinks and be entertained with us today. Any Super Chat equals a shout out. $5 Super Chat, we'll sing the DK song. $10 Super Chat, we'll take a Geno shot. $20 Super Chat, we'll do a beer chug. $50 Super Chat, we will get out the beer shotgun. And by the way, we have a brand new Seahawks Today boot that we debuted this weekend. And I have 4 inductees. you send in a $100 super chat, you will get a spot on the Seahawks Boot Hall of Fame. One of these spots could be yours with that $100 super chat. So I would love to induct some new members in the Hall of Fame to join the 4 that are here presently. $100, and you will get on this thing. The boot will be yours. And every time we drink out of the boot, then you'll be drinking with us. So simple as that. Great opportunity to get a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame, $100 super chat. And who knows? We might be able to do a boot today. If we get to 200 in super chats, I am willing to do a boot, which is 3 beers in one. We drink this as fast as we can because here's the deal. When we drink, we score. And we would love to get this Seahawks offense rolling after last week just did not go well for this team offensively. We didn't drink enough last week. I think that's why we didn't score enough and why the offense was dead in the second half. We got to do some more drinking. Let's set the tone early and get this Seahawks offense rocking and rolling so we can see a Seattle win this weekend. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our mailbag segment coming up next here on this live edition of Seahawks Today. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions in. And if you think of any questions as we're going along this mailbag, feel free to send them in. Are we all good to go, Tex? All right, let's get after it. Mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. It is mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. You guys send in questions. I answer them. Comes from our live show that we do on Wednesdays when people use the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. And we got some great questions this week. So I want to wait a second more. Let's go ahead and get started right away with 12s for Life asking, Tyler Lockett left the game on Sunday and then came back in. Any issues going forward? So Tyler Lockett was being evaluated for a concussion there last Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams. And ultimately, he cleared protocols. Everything looked like he was fine and came back into the game. Pete Carroll talked about it this week, and he said that he thinks that Tyler Lockett's going to be okay, that it shouldn't be an issue that lingers on. So that's very good news for Tyler Lockett. And I got to tell you, Tyler Lockett, JSN, and DK Metcalf there, this offense should be spectacular this year. Last week, they laid an egg collectively. I mean, even though DK was the best receiver, those penalties and that little scuffle he got in was not great either. So I expect Tyler Lockett to be very well all season. Shouldn't have any issues that linger on from last week. Tyler Lockett should be just fine. I think he's going to have a big year. Do you think Tyler Lockett's going to have a big year? That's our first question to begin today's show. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. Will Tyler Lockett step up in 2023 and have a great year again? Let us know what you think. James Mack with a $2 super chat is picking the Seahawks to beat the Lions 45-36. Apocalypse rising. James, I love the apocalypse. I think everybody needs to go all in on the apocalypse. With that said, James, when I look at Seattle this weekend, 45-36, I very well could see a shootout. Last year's game was a shootout with the Seahawks pulling it off against Detroit in what was one of the best games of the entire NFL season. And when you have the injuries that you have at the tackle position, I expect a lot of quick passes, a lot of screen game stuff, and with the questions surrounding the Seahawks secondary and the way that the Detroit Lions love to move it through the air, I think you're going to see a high-scoring affair. It's going to feel like a Big 12 game almost. James Mack very well could see that being a high-scoring game. Adam says, where's the damn panic button? Looking. Oh, there it is. Smash that thing. Here's what it comes down to on the panic button. One thing that I would alert the folks out there as far as said panic button goes. Let's look at Abraham Lucas, for example. You would hit the panic button, right? You hear the news, Abraham Lucas going to IR, and you're like, oh, no, right? But remember, they changed the definition of IR a couple of years ago. He's going on the short-term IR. Means he's out the next 4 weeks, which isn't great, but he should come back later on this year. Doesn't mean his season's over with. So, panic button, I understand, but let's provide context. Let's make sure people know that doesn't mean guys like Lucas, their season's over with for going to IR there. Thanks for the super chat, Adam. James Mack back in with the $2 super chat. Says, what about Chase Young and Chandler Jones? Go Chandler! Chat Sports Real Ones know about that. Shout out to Raiders Report with Mitchell Renz. I would love Chase Young to be in Seattle, and I very well could see the Seahawks making a move for Chase Young to bring him in, and I don't think he's going to cost you that much when it comes to trade assets. As far as Chandler Jones goes, don't take this the wrong way, folks, just being real with you. There are some questions, some concerns about the mental health of Chandler Jones. It's not something to laugh about, just being dead serious here. With how he responded and the way things escalated with the Raiders the last couple of weeks, I don't know if I want to take that on in Seattle. I like Chandler Jones. He would be a huge asset for this Seahawks team. But, I mean, I just don't know if he's worth taking that risk necessarily. But, James, appreciate you sending in that question there. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time, our newest partner here on Seahawks Today, the place to go for sporting events, comedy shows, concerts, and more. And Game Time, not only is it easy to use, but you are going to get the lowest price guaranteed. Here's the deal with Game Time. I was at a baseball game a few weeks ago and was with some friends. We decided at the very last minute that we wanted to go. And so we hopped on Game Time, and we were able to get our tickets instantaneously, just in a matter of moments. And I'm so grateful that Game Time made it so easy to use. Prices are listed. You find your seat, you zoom in, you get the view of what it's going to be, and then bam, you go to the checkout section and you get your tickets to that baseball game that you were wanting to go to. Here's what we're offering here on Seahawks Today. You can get tickets, just like me, with the promo code Seahawks Chat and get $20 off. So go ahead and download Game Time, create an account, and get your tickets now, including the Seahawks football. Game Time, the place to be. Terms and conditions do apply. $20 off with the promo code Seahawks Chat. Download Game Time today. All right, next question coming in from Adam with a $10 super chat. Bang! Thank you, Adam. Says, at what point do we blame the defensive coaching and schemes? All of the talent that we have signed over the years, Adams included, had great numbers until coming to Seattle. Fair point, Adam. And I got to tell you, I am very skeptical, as I'm sure a lot of you are, in Clint Hurt. And if we do not see things eventually turn a corner, then absolutely you have to point blame to Clint Hurt. And I think watching this Seahawks team, what they did last week, just a lot of scheme stuff that didn't necessarily make sense. And I know a lot of people are skeptical about why you're running this 3-4 defense, although, I mean, other teams are successful running the 3-4s, so that's not necessarily an excuse. But with that said, yeah, if Clint Hurt can't put it together, then he won't be back next season. Plain and simple, Adam. Thanks for the $10 super chat on that one there. James with a $2 super chat says, which rookie will step up this week? Well, I'm expecting a high-scoring affair, and I think JSN is got to play well. I know it's a lot of pressure on a young cat in his just second game in the National Football League, but JSN, for me, is going to be a guy that, especially when we talk about short passing game and with the O-line having some question marks, having to be effective in the screen game and getting open in the middle of the field, JSN is the guy I'm looking for. Watch out for JSN to potentially have a good game here against the Detroit Lions. James Mack, thanks for that $2 super chat. King writes in, why trade for Chase Young? He's a 4-3 DN specialist and probably will struggle running a 3-4 defense. Chase Young, I think you can make work. Here's the deal. All right, this is a short-sighted thinking, King. Let's forget about the scheme stuff for a second, okay? As I mentioned on this show this week, if you were to build a pass rusher in a lab, Chase Young is what you would want to look like. He has got great size, great athleticism. He looks the part. And with that, you have athletes. And here's what I'm doing. If I'm the Seattle Seahawks and I get a guy like Chase Young, I'm saying, you know what? I find a way to make it work, okay? I don't have to say, well, you know, he's a 4-3 guy. We run a 3-4. You know what you do with good athletes? You find ways to get them on the field. So I don't want to hear this about, well, 4-3, 3-4. Adjust. Chiefs got or what we saw from Chase Young there in the Commanders. Very small sample size. He's capable of playing at a high level. And the Seahawks, their coaching staff, they got some smart guys, despite what some people may think. They can adapt. They can adjust. They can make this work. Don't let them figure that out. Chase Young can play in any system. Join the channels. We're talking about your Seattle Seahawks each and every day with news, rumors, watch parties, including this weekend for Sunday's matchup against the Detroit Lions. We will be live 9 a.m. Pacific time, bright and early, mimosas in hand. I think we're going to get out the mimosa boot, potentially speaking. Myself, Tyler Smith-Smitty, will be here with you. Seahawks, Lions, live right here on Seahawks Today. Don't miss out. It's going to be a hell of a time. And let's get a Seahawks dub. Pete, not Carroll, writes, didn't see a lot of Jake Bobo last week. Will he be more involved in the offense on Sunday? Pete, I sure hope so. I sure hope so, that Jake Bobo gets more involved. I got to tell you, I was disappointed in how he was used or wasn't used, really, this past week, Pete. And with that, we know he can play. It's just a matter of getting him the football. The Seahawks have to adjust accordingly. You have to trust him. I know it's not easy always to trust a rookie, especially a UDFA rookie, but he's on your roster for a reason. I hope he gets more involved, but I can't guarantee as far as that goes. But Pete, not Pete, thanks for sending that in. You want to see more Jake Bobo? I know you want to see more Jake Bobo. Join the movement. I want you to spam more Bobo in the comments section. Let's let it be known. This is a pro Jake Bobo show. Spam more Bobo if you want to see more Bobo this weekend. Subscribe to Seahawks Today for more Seahawks coverage each and every day. And don't miss out on our watch party coming up on Sunday. We will see you then. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. All right. Will Tyler Lockett have a big year this year? What do you guys think? Chime in and tell us what you think in the comments section as far as Tyler Lockett goes. Y for yes, N for no. I do have to pay off the $10 super chat that came in from Adam. That means I got to take a shot. Adam, thanks for sending that in, and I'm glad we can answer your question in the mailbag. I better get chugging. That's how this works, right? I'm going to go straight for the bottle because why not? It's happy hour. It's Wednesday. That Fireball, that burns. You know, Tex, I was supposed to give up Fireball after college, but it's this job that has me drinking Fireball. I do not drink Fireball outside of work.
If only the people not here could see how many Fireball bottles we actually have in stock at Chat Sports at the studios. I mean, it's an insane amount. It's just Fireball across the board.
Yeah, it's too much Fireball.
It is a college drink, but it is evident at Chat Sports. So I guess it's made the transition from being a college drink to a Chat Sports drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tex, can you plug this in?
Yes, I can.
This fan?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little warm in the studio. I need Tex to plug in the fan. Yes, that Fireball might be already getting to me. I've only had one shot at this point, but enough. There we go. Much better. Much better. Getting the fan going. Anyways, but yes, Fireball. Hopefully the Seahawks have some Fireballs this weekend going for them. Let's see. I'm seeing the more Bobos coming in. Flake, no, we're not trading JSN. What the hell are you talking about? Come on now, Flake. That's ridiculous. We're not trading. No, absolutely not. Right. Come on now. Game preview is next. Let's get to that Super Chat menu before we get to the game preview segment. hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the show. Actually, not hashtag Seahawks anymore. We already did a mailbag. So the only way you can get on the screen now is a Super Chat. Here is what we're offering today. In case you're just now joining us, any Super Chat equals a shout-out. $5 will sing the DK song. $10 will do a Geno shot as we just did. $20 do a beer chug. $50 will get out the beer shotgun. And $100 gets you a spot on the Boot Hall of Fame. Would love to induct some more folks on the Boot Hall of Fame. 4 new members on this new booth that we launched this week. Who else is going to join them and be the 5th inductee on the Boot Hall of Fame? You could even be the one that gets me inducted or gets Big Tex inducted on the Boot Hall of Fame. If you guys want to take part, get on that Boot Hall of Fame. We'd love to have you here on the show. Also, we have the boot itself. We're currently at $23. If we get to 200 today as a whole collectively, then I will take down Das Boots. 3 beers in one as fast as we can because you guys deserve that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to our game preview segment. Seahawks, Lions, tell you all about it. BetUS, our partner, our sponsor on this. And whenever Tex is ready, then we'll get this fired away and get to our final segment. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Seahawks football, week number 2. A big opportunity for Seattle to bounce back as they take on the Detroit Lions on the road in Detroit. The Lions are coming off maybe their biggest regular season win in franchise history when they defeated the Kansas City Chiefs on their ring night last week. Meanwhile, Seattle coming off one of the worst second-half performances we've seen in a long time, losing to the LA Rams 30-13. The Seahawks looking to get back on track. The Lions trying to keep momentum, and they got a couple extra days rest playing on Thursday night. We will be live for this game here on the channel. Myself, Tyler Smith-Smitty, will be here with you for our second watch party of the year. We'll get started bright and early, 9 a.m. Pacific time for our live coverage of this one. And you better believe the mimosas will be in hand. We'll have a few drinks. We'll break down the game in real time. Chat Sports Palooza. You got to hang out with us. It is guaranteed to be amazing. Sub for dubs. You want the Seahawks to win to get the job done. Sub for dubs. I have a list of everyone that's subscribed to the channel. And I got a list of people watching that aren't subscribed. And I will come find you if you are not subscribed to the channel. The reason why the Seahawks lost. So there you have it. Sub for dubs. Let's begin with the injury report for Seattle, and this is a bit of a lengthy one as Jamal Adams is out. Should be back soon, but not going to play this week. Charles Cross is out with a toe injury, and he is week to week. Abraham Lucas with the kneecap, he is out. He is on the PUP list. We will not see him for the next 4 weeks. Meanwhile, Devon Witherspoon with a hamstring injury is questionable. We'll see about his status come Sunday. The Lions injury report is a little more favorable for them as Emmanuel Mosley is questionable with a knee injury. Meanwhile, Brian Branch, and we'll tell you about Branch here in just a second, he is questionable himself with a lower body injury on their front. And speaking of Brian Branch, this guy, if he's not going to play, we're not wishing injuries on anybody. Don't take that the wrong way. But if he's not going to play, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for the Seahawks because last week in his debut against Kansas City, he was outstanding. 3 tackles, 1 pass breakup, had a pick 6 off of the most talented quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, in his NFL debut on the road. I would prefer him not play. Wish nothing but the best for Brian Branch, but we'll see about his status. Now, as far as the Seahawks go, until Cross and Lucas are fully healthy, I'm going to be very concerned when it comes to this offensive line. I mean, you're putting Band-Aids on these positions until you figure it out, until those guys come back. I'm very worried. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't worried. What is your concern level? 1 through 10 on the Seahawks offensive line. Be real with me. Your concern level, you can put 10 in there. You can go 1. Let us know. It's our pinned comment today. Chime in. Tell me what you think. How concerned are you with this Seahawks offensive line? Now, my 5 keys to victory for Seattle. Let's start number 1, getting pressure on Jared Goff. Seahawks fans, we're all very familiar with Jared Goff's work, previously playing for the Los Angeles Rams. Was able to take them to a Super Bowl, and he's kind of revitalized his career with the Detroit Lions. And one of the things that the Lions and Goff have done well is that he does not get sacked a whole lot. Jared Goff, last week in the win against Kansas City, was only sacked 1 time. Granted, Chris Jones didn't play for KC. And when you comparably speaking to the Seahawks game against the LA Rams, they had no sacks. So just connecting 2 dots here that doesn't add up too well. Now, everybody knows it's always important to have protection. Wink, wink. In 2022, the Detroit Lions only allowed 24 sacks the entire season. 23 of those were on Goff. And if you put that by rate, percentage-wise, the Lions only let Jared Goff get sacked about 1.35 times per game. That was some of the best protection of anyone in the National Football League. Jared Goff, it's twofold. It's not that he's just protected well, but he gets the ball off fast as well. Number 2 in keys to victory for Seattle is winning the turnover battle. Last week, believe it or not, the Seahawks didn't turn the ball over, but they didn't force any turnovers either. The Lions last season were 0-4 when committing 2 or more turnovers in a game. So the recipe was simple last year. If you forced them to commit 2 turnovers, you were going to beat the Lions. That was the worst of anybody in the league. Now, the thing was, though, the Lions had a really good track record of taking care of the football. The Lions committed only 15 turnovers last season. That was the fewest of anybody in the league. So they're very good about protecting the football. But if you do force them to turn the football over, you're going to win the football game. It's as simple as that. And there's one player specifically that I'm watching for when we talk turnovers. We can't mention turnovers without talking about the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Riq Woolen. Last season, he was tied for the league lead in interceptions. And last week, he was fantastic. Only allowed 1 catch for 5 yards in that entire game. It was a great start for Riq Woolen. But his calling card, the thing that we all appreciate and love the most when we talk about Riq Woolen, is his ability to create interceptions and turnovers, right? And it's been a minute since we've seen a Riq Woolen interception. He has gone 7 straight games, including the postseason against the San Francisco 49ers last year, the wild card round, since he had an interception. That's a long time since we've seen that from Riq Woolen there. So, Riq, you're playing well, don't get me wrong, but I would love to see Riq get one of those turnovers and make a play there. Who's the Seahawks player that needs to step up this week? Name them, sound off, get in that comment section. I want to hear it. Could be somebody that's not performing well, maybe somebody that you want to see take things to another level like Riq. Get in that comment section. Name them who needs to step up for Seattle here against the Lions. Let's talk offense now. And I got to tell you, this Seattle Seahawks team has got to be able to get the ball downfield. And what's so surprising, I think personally, is that this was one of the strengths of the Seahawks last year was the downfield passing game. But last week against the Rams, the Seahawks struggled to move the football on those big passing plays. Let's go next-gen stats, courtesy of AWS, on Geno Smith here. And the passing chart, you can see a lot of green, no red for interceptions, 10 incompletions. But what's missing? The downfield passing game. What Geno does best just didn't happen last week. Got to get more downfield passing. And you got the weapons to do it with DK and JSN and Tyler Lockett, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting those big plays down the field to those top receivers. I mean, and if you need more nerd analytics to back it up, this is what I mean as far as how well Geno is of getting the football down the field. Now, it goes twofold. The offensive line has got to do their part and give Geno time to throw the football to get downfield. But even then, I mean, you're looking at Geno Smith with a, deep completion percentage of 47%, highest in the league. Deep X completion percentage of 33.8. I don't even know what that means, but something from Next Gen Stats that sounds good. Highest in the league as well. Deep CP03, again, what the hell? Geno had the highest, though, last year. And passing score on deep attempts, a 99. I play Madden. 99 looks good. So, Geno, get the ball downfield. But O-line, you got to help him. You got to give him a chance to get the ball downfield. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Enter the promo code Seahawks125. Yes, I'm talking about you. You're going to get a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down, $125 to spend for free at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125. Odds for this weekend. Seahawks are an underdog. They're already counting us out. Look at that. 6-point dog. Over-under is 47. Life's too short to bet the under, people. Bet on your Seahawks. Take the over. Bet on other NFL action as well. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125. Next set of keys to victory for Seattle. Got to win on third down. This Seattle team really struggled when it came down to third down conversions last week. Once you got to third down, for the most part, it was pretty much game over. The Seahawks were 2 of 9 on third down attempts against the Rams. And compared to everybody else in the National Football League, that was the 5th worst of any team out there. Not good. Got to win on third down. And Pete Carroll this week talked about Seattle's offense and, trying to use Geno and company to take advantage of those opportunities to convert on those attempts and keep those drives alive. Made a pretty interesting point. Let me show you what Pete had to say. We took some really good looks down the field. We weren't able to get the ball down there because they just laid off of us, which we kind of expected, but we still need to push it and try it. He's referring to on those downs, push it and try it on third down, so we dump the ball around. Got to do better. Got to win on third down, those opportunities. Last but not least, cover somebody. Anybody, please. Okay? Rick Wallen can't do it all. Everybody else got to step up a little bit. Dare I show you the receiving statistics from the Rams last week against the Seahawks? It's a painful sight, but I kind of have to do this. I hate to do this, but I have to. Numbers last week. Tutu Atwell, 119 yards. Puka Nakua, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. No one knows his name. The rookie had 10 catches for 119 yards. Where did he come from? Tyler Higbee, the most average tight end in the league. 3 catches, 49 yards last week. That cannot happen again. And this wasn't always an issue. If we were to step back in time and take a ride on the hot tub time machine to last season, remember the Seahawks pass coverage last year? They held opponents to a completion percentage of 62.7. That was top 10 in the league. So we've seen this group be capable of, and this is supposed to be a better group than last year's group. So please, play some pass defense. Now it's twofold. Pass rush has got to do its part too. But with that said, pass coverage, you're in for a challenge this week against Detroit. I will give you my prediction in a matter of moments. But here's your chance to tell me first how this game's going to go. Predict the score in the comments section. Let us know how you think this is going to play out. Is it going to be a Seahawks win? Is it going to be a Lions win? Even if it's a Lions win, you can tell me I'm a big boy. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you pick the Lions to win. Predict it, and I'll tell you on the other side how I see this game playing out. Ultimately, I think the Seahawks can find a way to win. Call me crazy, but I think you're looking at a shootout. The Lions, I think there's a lot of fake hype from their win last week against Kansas City. You heard Mike Tirico call it and others an asterisk win. I wouldn't go that far, but I think they're up for a letdown. And I think the Seahawks are going to play with a chip on their shoulder considering the circumstances with the offensive line issues and all that. It's going to be a shootout. Seahawks find a way to win 34-30. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure and join us. We are going to be live on Sunday, and we're going to be rooting on the Seahawks to victory. Seahawks-Lions live right here on Seahawks Today. Come hang out with us. Come party. Let's cheer on the Seahawks together and see them get the job done. You won't want to miss it. 9 a.m. live right here on Seahawks Today. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us. All right. We are all done with all our segments. Now let's go over these score predictions as Big Tex rejoins me. I see Beta YT saying 31-21 Seahawks. Observer 777 says Lions 34-14. I got King saying 48-45 Seahawks. I don't know if there's enough time on the clock to get that many points, but I see where you're getting at. Big Tex, official score prediction.
I'm going to go 27 Seahawks, 24 Lions.
So you're not thinking quite the shootout everybody else is thinking.
I am not. I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring affair. Obviously, 27 points isn't super low, but I don't think it's going to be 34-30 personally.
Send in your score predictions. Let us know how you think this game is going to go. Cam says we are pulling people off the couch already to play in week 2 for us. You got a point. Let's see. Ilona says, go Hawks. Mark says, Beta, I'm with you, 31-21. Some of the early predictions already. Tell us what you think, how this score is ultimately going to play out. Let's go back to Super Chat menu. So we are all done with all our segments. We can hang out and keep talking Seahawks football, but it's up to you guys. It's your show. That's what I tell you all the time. It's your show. I am just your faithful servant and leader on this channel. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a minute on the clock. We get a Super Chat. We'll hang around. We can keep this party going. If not, we'll sign off and we'll call it a night. But we can go crazy too. I mean, we are 180 away from a boot. $100 gets you a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. We can party having a good time. 12s, it's up to you what you guys want to do. A minute on the clock. Let's see. We get a Super Chat and video out. We'll stay live. We'll keep the show going. We can keep talking Seahawks. Otherwise, we can sign off, call it a day. $ below the chat box if you want to contribute. You can also Venmo me, Tyler Jones Live on Venmo, if you want to contribute that way. Looking up some more score predictions in the chat. I see Ms. Boots Gibson says Seahawks win 24-23. Ilona says Seahawks 35-25. Sup says Seahawks 37-23. Jonathan says Lions 24-13. Let's see. Camille says Lions 34-7. Wow, I would hate that. That'd be miserable. What else? What other predictions we got? Seen a lot of Hawks in the chat. That's always good to see. By the way, we're at 69 likes. Nice. Great number. Just a few seconds left. If we get a Super Chat, we'll stay on. Otherwise, we'll sign off here in just a bit. Tex, what's for dinner tonight?
Ooh, probably going to have leftovers or maybe some simple ramen. Nothing too crazy.
So what do your leftovers consist of? What you cook?
Usually it's nothing crazy. I think I got some pasta in the fridge I got to finish off. I made some chicken tortellini with Alfredo sauce.
Ooh.
So it was pretty solid.
Getting a little fancy.
Oh, yeah. I'm not Will Scott. No offense to our former Dolphins host. He's not a cook, as it is known around
So
Chat
you're quite the chef then.
I wouldn't say I'm quite the chef, but I like to say I can make a few dishes here and there. I can make some, chicken quesadillas, a couple different kinds of sandwiches, some paninis, pastas.
Okay.
I can grill a pretty solid steak and chicken as well.
So you're looking to get wifed up then,
Oh, yeah. Get you a man that can cook.
Tex is single, ladies. He'll cook for you. I mean, Tex, put yourself back on screen. You dressed up today, and
I did.
He even wore what did you wear? Some khakis or something?
Yeah, some slacks.
Some slacks today?
And a nice shirt here. A little collared shirt.
Are you wearing what kind of shoes you got?
They're just my normal shoes. I thought about wearing some dress shoes, but comfort over fanciness.
Still, like, they're not dirty.
No, they're not. They're not Jace Andrews shoes.
You're throwing shade at everybody today.
Everybody, no one's safe.
No one is safe from
No
Big
one's
Tech.
safe.
Some other score predictions. John says 35-17 Lions. Okay. So there you go. We're going to sign off. I want to make sure you guys subscribe, though. Let me put the sub link in the chat so you guys can subscribe to the channel and make sure you join us for our watch party coming up on Sunday for Seahawks Lions. Are you on a watch party this week, Tex?
I am with PD on Sunday twice, at noon for Falcons and then 3:25 for Broncos.
Okay.
Commanders, yeah.
Okay.
So two. It's going to
So
be
you
a
got two
long
watch
day.
parties.
Yes.
Okay. Back to back.
Yes, back to back. That
All
is
right.
gonna be a
So
long
if you
day.
want to hear from Big Tex, he'll be doing those watch
Yes.
parties this weekend.
I will be.
Let's see. Lord Buddy Bear, already sub. Thank you, Lord Buddy Bear. Lord Buddy Bear. Good to have you here, Lord Buddy Bear. Let's see. Beta YT says, have a great day. Beta, I better see you this weekend, my guy. Let's see. Everyone else. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. And we will see you on Sunday for Seahawks Lions here on the channel.